And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Super Challengers stuff. I totally screwed it up, but it is all by Chaos TV, the NA Challenger Series #1. So sorry about that. Malphus, please help me out. Game number 2 coming the way of the Super Team versus LMQ, and LMQ up 1-0.
Yeah, LMQ just, they just executed. Like, when it came down to it, they picked a strong team composition. All their lanes are coherent. They all made sense. They're all very, very strong champions. It wasn't a particularly groundbreaking composition. It's Sivir plus a bunch of things that like to run through people. So maybe not so much with the creativity, but who needs creativity when you've got good, calm, clean, crisp execution?
I was just taken aback by the beauty of game number 1 that I couldn't even get my words out here for the beginning of game number 2. That will not happen again. So, as we said, game number 1, really awesome stuff. LMQ has all their ducks in a row, and I only have 5 bans. Did we miss a ban? Do you see a 6th ban, Ruben? Because I don't.
Okay, looks like okay.
5-ban game.
Obviously, I'm watching from the stream, so it looks like.
Well, if he doesn't see it and I don't see it, you won't see it, though.
Yeah, Superteam NA decided. Right, they decided not to go with the ban. They just allowed it to time out. Either Arthalon had some sort of bug, or he was just like, you know what, we want to let something get through. Which is sometimes is actually a strategy that some people will do if they feel like there are, I forget what the exact number is, but if they feel that there are a particular number of contentious picks, they'll leave, just like not ban something so that one of those picks doesn't get banned and you have a better chance of getting something that you really want. I feel like that's more of a red side strat than it is necessarily a blue side strat, because red side end up having the first double pick, but Super Team NA, I'm coming up with reasons. It's entirely possible that Arthalon just, like, Bird flew into his window or something and he got distracted. Who knows?
Well, we're totally going to blame Bird, who was on the stream last night, so it's all your fault, Bird. But thank you for showing up last night. It was fun times. Either way, looking at the bans from game number 1 compared to game number 2, Thresh, Caston, Elite, Renekton, and Caitlyn is a 100% 5-for-5 repeat ban. The only one that didn't get banned out this time, that was in game number 1, was Kayle, which leaves us fun things like Yasuo still out there, Gragas, Renekton. He was a pretty popular ban yesterday for, I believe, our Complexity series. So who knows where this extra 5th ban, or this disappeared 6th ban, is going to lead us. We already saw Yasuo highlighted at least once, and you can also see the first pick here from the Super Team from Arthalon was Leona. So they absolutely did not want more to pick up that really strong support.
Yeah, exactly. Instead, they went with the Lulu. That could be yet another mid Lulu. Although I don't watch as much LMQ as I maybe necessarily should, so I'm not sure if Wei Xiao has been rocking that Lulu mid all that much, or if they're just gonna do Lulu Sivir. They do still want Facility on Sivir. They just immediately lock that up with their first group of picks, so that he'll still have that ability to pop the ultimate and get his team going through here. And honestly, the laning phase is played so well that I can hardly fault them for wanting to grab it up again.
Yasuo and Lee Sin will be added to the roster of Sivir and Lulu, so still could be a solo lane Lulu, but I have a suspicion it's going to be a solo lane Yasuo. Lee Sin likely off to the jungle, which will leave us Lulu with Sivir for the bot, which is still, I think, a really strong combo, as we already do have that Leona and Lucian locked in here for the Super Team. So Shyvana likely off in the top. Does look like Riven is going to be taking the top. Shyvana in the jungle, or maybe not. I don't know. That last pick could be a Vi from Batosa. We'll have to see if he locks it in, but that would lead into some interesting lanes. Yeah, it's going to be Riven mid with Shyvana top and Vi in the jungle.
Yeah, there we go. That Riven is a champion that people are pretty fond of picking up against Yasuo, just because of the ability to, first off, another resourceless champion that can deal with the fact that Yasuo is resourceless and has a lot of good spam. Riven is a very durable champion if you're able to be right on top of your Valors and have a shield up whenever you're going to take poke. Has insane amounts of damage and has really good mobility as well. So when you put that into the mid lane, you know, Chuper's going to have, or excuse me, Gente, not Chuper. Chuper was playing mid lane yesterday. He's playing AD carry today. Gente could just have enough tools at his disposal to really keep Wei Xiao from snowballing on the Yasuo, if it is indeed the mid lane Yasuo. We do have the Lee Sin, and this is kind of interesting. They could go with either the Lee Sin or did the Wukong get locked in?
Yep.
Okay, so they could go either with the Lee Sin or the Yasuo in the mid lane. Either one. This is a very different look from LMQ. We talked about the last game being a different look. This is a super different look.
When you have a lot of cards to play, you can definitely keep your opponents a little off balance. Looking at some of the swaps going around, though, does look like Arthalon in the top with Shyvana, Jinte in the mid, and Wei Xiao right now is currently sitting on top of Yasuo. So again, very likely off into that mid as well. You know, trying to defeat that wind wall as well as the resource list totally makes sense now that you've totally explained it to me. But again, like, bottom lane was where a lot of the difficulty sat last game between LMQ and the super team. So can Chuper and Batosai still deal with the killing power of Vasily and just the misdirection of Moore?
We should also take a second and talk about the fact that this is a knock-up comp. This is a let Wei Xiao ult everything composition. We see Ackerman can use his ultimate, which will knock some people up. Then Moore can drop Wild Growth and knock some people up with that one. No Name can go in with his ultimate, can knock some people up there. There is a serious potential if they get like the two high damage dealing champions standing on top of each other, being Jinte and Chuper, that those two champions could die before the chain knockup ends.
Well, this could be a very up and down game, Sunglasses. But no, you're totally right. It's like,
I will break your sunglasses.
just let Wei Xiao destroy everything. I was trying to think of like what is the knock-up that Ackerman brings to the table, but I suppose Dragon Rage is a knock-back, which I guess counts as a knock-up as well. Now that I think about it, look at what Yasuo does to us. Has to think about all these new directions that abilities can go. But yes, I do fear a little bit here for the super team, because if they can't win this game, they will go down 2-0, and we're going to see LMQ in the grand finals tomorrow, and they will play the victor of our second game series tonight.
And that the thing is, like, actually, I don't even have anything I want to say. I had something I thought I wanted to say, but I don't even want to say it. I just want to see this game. I want to see if Superteam NA have what it takes in them after getting kind of destroyed in game number 1 to turn it back around and to really make some big plays in game number 2 and keep themselves in it.
Well, we'll see what kind of big plays we can get, guys, because 90 seconds from now, we are going to be into game number 1 of the NA Challenger Series 1 semifinals here, presented by Chaos TV. Come join us, will you? Bring a friend. Why not? Because we're going to see LMQ and Super Team duel in just a moment, so don't go anywhere. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Sean Forecourt Jester Delaney, screwing up my own name, here with Alex Malphus X Manley. Got to get that one right. He's the guy carrying this cast. We're in game number 2 of this best of 3, the NA Challenger Series #1 by Chaos TV, and not quite the 5-man roam squad that we saw from game number 1, but still, regardless, Trooper is going to get chunked down half. Wow!
Whoa!
They really wanted that kill, Malphus.
It was something. That was something, all right. The usage of the exhaust, I think. Okay, now we've spent most of the night, you and I, when we've been kind of off camera, talking about how aggressive LMQ play. That is, I mean, it's aggressive like my dog chasing his own tail is aggressive. I'm not entirely sure what he or more plan to achieve with their actions.
They planned to Kappa. Yeah, it's totally planned. Totally planned. Yeah. Ackerman actually just walked into Arthalon, but Arthalon did not care whatsoever. Jinte is now going to get a little bit aggressive on top of Wei Xiao and didn't win that trade. So, yeah, we're off to a really rocky start on all fronts.
And interestingly enough here, Jinte just started with Valor, so he's going to look to freely auto-attack and push the wave over, and use the Valor Shield to keep Wei Xiao from being able to really harass him down too much early on, as opposed to starting with the Broken Wings, which I want to say is slightly more common for Riven. He's taking a little bit more passive of an approach, and wants to be able to just farm without really getting shoved down, and you see, I mean, he's getting pretty much exactly what he wants there.
Well, we're going to have to see if Arthalon and crew can get exactly what they want. They did take out that Leona from the bot from more the sniper. My goodness, that was just some ridiculous play game number 1. We'll have to see how he does on the Lulu. But again, like no real big lane swaps. The jungle is going as planned. And, you know, just business as normal as Ackerman still trying to beat up this Lady Dragon. Arthalon going to drop really low after that round of harass. So he's going to be a bit more on the back foot. In terms of the opening items, it's Dorns for everyone except our junglers. So again, pretty standard opener.
Absolutely, and oh, no name going in for this invasion.
Yeah, he tried, but yeah, flash for flash, he did get it. But no name now here with Wei Xiao. Jinte trying to make something of it here. That's gonna be the flash for it. Ackerman does not hit the Hadouken, but the first blood does actually go off to Panzer Dragon, who's about to pay for it. That's gonna be the ignite on top of things. Really, really aggressive play with a lot of these summoners. So a lot of summoners down. Arthalon did not come down to that blue whatsoever, whereas Ackerman did. But still, ultimately, 1-for-1 trade, and I think it was Ackerman that got off the double. Yeah, so Arthalon's going to be in for a world of hurt.
Yeah, this is not going to be at all fun for Arthalon. I like the play from No Name, going straight from his blue buff to the opposing blue buff and just trying to make a big aggressive play. They did have the roaming support from Ackerman that they needed, but Ackerman wasn't level 3 yet, and so because of that he had a more difficult time getting into the thick of things and really getting himself into the fight than he necessarily would have if he had been able to hit level 3 and have the safeguard available to him. So it was a nicely executed play. They denied the experience, Vasily, just going to spell sheet that up. I think probably the most important part of that, honestly, is that they deny the experience of the blue buff to Panzer Dragon, and they're making it really, really hard for him to get his buy started. He's going to try to make it up with a gank right now.
Yeah, Trooper really low, forces out the flash. Panzer Dragon comes in. Vasily, however, has been just chased down by this Leona. The potions, are they going to be enough? 4 or 5 hit points, not enough. The last tick is able to take him down, and now more on the wrong side of this 3-man gank. The bomb is going to go off, but not going to be quite the kill there. So good stuff bottom lane. We do have the kill advantage finally going the way of Arthalon and crew, but you see Jinte in the mid. He just got 2v1. He's really low on his hit points as well. So the aggression continues. Red and blue Ackerman is actually trading out evenly with Arthalon in terms of the creeps, but can't imagine Arthalon's having fun doing it.
Right, and that's with Ackerman having roamed around as well. So Arthalon is just doing a nice job of farming under the tower. Ackerman is continuing to just push him in, continue to apply pressure, and if they decide that they want to try to go make some big plays happen, he's going to be more available to roam. No Name, however, is trying to make the big play of getting out of the enemy jungle alive.
Panzer Dragon just, I guess, doesn't have the cooldowns. Here comes Jinte with that stun. Did get him at the critical moment. That's going to be the Zenith Blade, and Trooper actually takes home the red buff for his team. Really nice pickups and collapses. We see Superteam just playing a lot more in tune, it seems, in game number 1.
Yeah, Superteam are trying to punish the aggression from LMQ right now. They had Panzer Dragon come in with that gank, knowing that he got set behind, which is, it actually kind of opens the jungle up a little bit because people aren't necessarily sure where you're going to go to try to make a recovery play happen. Is Jinte and Wei Xiao dueling it out in mid?
Do we have an ignite? No, we have the barrier for Wei Zhao, so he's not going to be able to solidify any kind of dive under this, but low hit points from both of them. Vi's going to be coming off from the side. Wei Zhao, however, might just go in for the kill. That's going to be the combo on top of Wei Zhao. Forces out the barrier, and the tower shot is enough to take down the kill with no needed help from Vi.
That was just basically a misplay by Wei Zhao, thinking that he had the opportunity to go in and pick that kill up a lot faster than he did. Wasn't able to make it happen, and nicely played there by Gente, not panicking, not getting, he knows he's behind in CS, but he's not getting bent out of shape about it. He's just keeping his play clean, keeping his play calm, and providing opportunities for Wei Zhao to put himself into bad situations like that.
Strangely enough, our bottom lane, as I say, not really that much action, but Vasily gets jumped upon Batosai, just trying to lock up not only Vasily, but more. Fortunately, Chuper now under half health. They're trying to make use of that red, just take away some more of those hit points, but it does look like they will successfully get Vasily out of lane. This Chuper just decides maybe a little bit more aggression is in order. Either way, in terms of the creeps, if you check out the difference, man, Vasily, what a beast.
And a lot of that is actually more just being really obnoxious. I just looked down in time to see Moore throw down his shield onto a cannon minion to provide like a reposition for him to cast the Glitter Lance from, but it also ended up costing Chuper the last hit as he wasn't able to accurately estimate how much damage he was going to do with that in there. Jintae's top the ult, he's going in on Wei Zhao.
Yeah, and Wei Zhao is just going to respond in kind. Here comes No Name very, very slowly. Gets caught on that ledge. Can't really get into position to help out. As we saw Panzer Dragon coming down a lot quicker. That was the flash now from Wei Zhao. And still no kills from either, but the ults were down. Bottom lane, Moore going to take a little bit of pain here from Chuper, but No Name is going to be heading on down here. Chuper now getting really low. No Name might be able to capitalize on this. We do got Batosa trying to lock him up, but there goes No Name with the capitalization. They do take out both ADCs, so Lucian and Sivir do trade out. I think Batosa is going to be okay, but that being said, wow, he gave me a scare there with that burst from Wukong.
Yeah, so far the game has gone about as well as Superteam NA could hope. In game number 1, they got really handled. So for this game to be as close as it is really, really strong for them. I'm a little concerned about the split push capability that Ackerman is going to have, given that he's out ahead a little bit. He's got the extra kill, he's got the 10 extra CS. He's already picked himself up a Tiamat. So his ability to just shove the wave down is going to be absolutely colossal. Panzer Dragon going to get into ult range.
Yeah, that's the assault and battery, but Batosai not going to be dictating where Moore is going to end up, so his shield did not blow up on top of the little Yordo. They did get the flash out of Moore, but Batosai, can you grab this kill? Because I don't think you can, and neither does No Name and Vasily. They grab home the kill on top of Batosai.
Alright, so Panzer Dragon used his flash a little bit early there, wasn't able to pick up the kill as soon as he used it, and because of that, it offered Moore the opportunity to get flash over the wall, and because Panzer Dragon had just used his flash, he wasn't able to follow it up. And Batosai got a little bloodthirsty, got a little greedy, wanted to be able to try to chase that kill down. He had hit level 6, I believe, so he wanted to find the Lulu and then land the ultimate and pick up the kill. But as it is, he just kind of ended up pulling himself into his own death, which is extremely unfortunate for him, but not so unfortunate for LMQ as it allows them to take a... I don't think this is their first lead of the game, but allows them to regain control of the goal.
Still two kills down, but the creeps are making up for it. Arthalon at the top, losing out in lane. Hasn't actually dropped death yet, but across the board, all of the lanes losing out in that farm. Taking a quick look at mid, Wei Zhao going to be dashing hopefully to victory here. Jinte might with the flash. Yeah, he is going to go for it. There comes Vi as well. Barrier going to get popped, but he just gets blown up by Jinte's wind slash, and Ackerman with the ward safeguard combo will survive out of that fight, but again, another great pickup as Jinte goes 2-0-2 just before 10 minutes.
Yeah, this has been great play by Jinte thus far. I mean, he's just always patient, he's always there, and he knows exactly how many cooldowns he needs to use to really take advantage of every situation he finds himself in. Using that flash, securing that kill. Here comes the ultimate down onto Vasily.
Yeah, ultimate for ultimate as we did get the solar flare and the wild growth. Batosai now has to try to deal with this, but here comes the cavalry in the back. Vasily needs to try to trade out here with Chuper. Won't happen as now Moore is going to be on the run. He might be okay, but top lane we also got this exchange going back and forth. Ackerman with that offensive Tiamat, maybe not going to get out of this one as Arthalon picks up that kill. And now with kills not only bot but top, we're going to go for a dragon here for the super team.
They need to be pretty careful here. No Name is in here as is Wei Zhao. They have the ult.
And that is going to be that combo we were talking about. Just blow them all up with Wei Zhao. They do take down Vi, but Jinte is going to drop as well. Wei Zhao, can he actually continue chasing? We do got the red and the blue on top of No Name. Very likely going to be a kill on Batosai, and he does drop immediately. No Dragon for the Super Team, as they kind of didn't win that exchange, I feel now.
No, they ended up losing a lot for that, and Arthalon did a nice job of taking advantage of him having a power spike that Ackerman couldn't necessarily answer by having the Bilgewater Cutlass, and Ackerman also losing a little bit of experience by heading out of lane despite being ahead. So that allowed Arthalon to pick up the solo kill really nicely there. But you see Super Team NA got too aggressive on the Dragon Call. There was still a Wukong and still a Yasuo in the area with their ults up. They used that to neutralize the jungler immediately, chase down an extra kill after the fight, and they're going to be the ones who take down this Dragon.
And the Dragon is definitely all just bones now. 8-6. Kill lead still going here for the Super Team, but gold is a firm 2,000 going the way of LMQ. You can see everyone coming back to their lane. Vi, however, just hit up her blue. Going to be chasing away that Ackerman, and bottom lane, Chuper now back in lane as well. Again, in terms of the creeps going back and forth, it's all solidly in LMQ's favor, and now with that extra Dragon, it's just that little extra over the top. So they really expanding this gold lead despite being down in kills.
Chuper is in the unenviable situation of wanting to go for a Trinity Force first without wanting to pick up any sort of sustain from like lifesteal, no BAM or anything like that first. Panzer Dragon wants No Name.
He does. He's going to go pretty much all in for it. There goes the Cyclone. Panzer Dragon, however, with that extra Q at the end, is able to take it home as Jinte. Successful gank up top with Arthalon. They take home Lee Sin as well. So 2 kills going back the way of the Super Team. Bottom, they're still dueling it out. Batosai could be in a little bit of trouble. Chuper with the dash. That's going to be the flash forward there from Vasily, avoiding out that sunlight. But we do got the wild growth. Just going to interrupt that combo. Vasily is low, but I don't think Batosai can take it. Now that he's lost Chuper, it's almost likely going to be a 2-for-0 swap. Here comes Wei Zhao. He might be able to pick this one up. I think Moore's going to help him out, and yeah, that is going to be the counter gank from mid. So both mid laners going opposite directions, picking up the kills, and it actually might even be a tower for tower trade.
Yeah, a nice roam coming from both mid laners being able to track down those kills. This is just the bottom lane here. Again, LMQ, they just always have an answer. Whenever they need something that they need to pull off to make these fights happen, they're always able to secure it just in time. Jinte, his early game was honestly a little weaker than I thought it was going to be with a Riven versus Yasuo, but he's scaled up really nicely and is doing extremely well in this lane now. A little bit of extra cooldown reduction from the Brutalizer, and then lots of extra AD. You can point out that he's got actually, I'm not even sure if he has a gold advantage because of the dragon and everything else. No, he's actually 500 gold behind, largely because of the dragon and the fact that he's down by about 30 CS. Even despite picking up 4 kills and 2 assists, there's been enough presence from Wei Zhao across the map to really keep himself in this one. So right now, this mid lane matchup is honestly the closest of the 3, although Arthalon versus Ackerman has been mostly farming, and then Arthalon looking for opportunities to kill Ackerman, like this one.
Yeah, he's going to flash forward with the Dragon's Descent. That's the Ignite on top of him as well. Again, Ackerman with those combat stats, not necessarily defensive, doesn't help him when he runs for it, but he does look like he's going to successfully get out of this one. You talking about the gold differences back and forth? I find it funny that every lane is losing except the support, where Batosai actually has the lead there, and that's because he does have those 2 kills. And speaking of the Batosai himself, maybe shouldn't have said anything because he dies in the Dragon Pit. And but it does look like Riven was able to actually shut down Yasuo.
Very nice play there. Ackerman diving back in onto Arthalon up top.
Yeah, Arthalon, unfortunately, maybe thinking he's gone a little bit too far. Can't quite trade it back out with Ackerman. So those combat stats, you know, they come in handy when you're attacking, not so much on the defense. And Ackerman just showed that right there. He's sitting at 2-2-0 now after that kill.
Yeah, this has been a really back and forth matchup for the top lane. In the mid lane, Panzer Dragon was able to get in with the flash, and the ultimate pick that up. Now Moore's going to go on the run.
Well, he's going to wild growth himself. Does he have that flash ready to go? He does get out of the danger. Panther Dragon just got melting under this pressure. Jinte has to flash forward as well, but No Name is there to pick up not only the 1, but going for the 2nd. Doesn't have the red. Can he actually catch up to Panther Dragon?
Needs one more Nimbus Strike. Can he get a range? He's going to go all the way into the base if he has to. No, he's just going to Nimbus Strike onto the creeps and walk away from that one. Panzer Dragon able to just barely survive. Really nice presence there. Presence of mind by Moore. Oh, Vasily.
Well,
he's so fast.
When there's a solar flare behind you, you just kind of go forward and avoid it.
Oh, he is so fast. That's so ridiculous. Or good presence of mind and not just run away to run towards his allies. So he was able to walk into No Name and Ackerman and flash over his opponents to get to the safety that his allies present him. Wei Zhao is going to come down to the bottom lane, but until he's able to stack up the Q, he's not going to be able to do but so much.
And that is something that you see maybe perhaps more in solo queue. It's just that mentality to protect yourself. You run away from danger, whereas in team situations where you have open lines of communication, you run towards your teammates because you know that they will help you and protect you. It's definitely good to see that presence of mind. Another Zenith Blade there from Batosai, not landing on top of Vasily. He is juking out a lot of these skill shots there from Batosai and defeating a lot of these opportunities. And speaking of opportunities, Jinte could be in a little bit of a tough one. Does get exhausted, looks for the kill on top of more. The wind slash will be enough to finish him off. Here comes Panzer Dragon, just going to be locking up Wei Zhao. Batosai in the back as well. Zenith Blade again, not connecting, but a nice turnaround as Jinte, with help, grabs himself the double.
Jinte is performing so incredibly well this game. He has just had so much presence. This is a very, very different looking Super Team NA than we saw in game number 1, and so much of that is because Jinte is just able to be there and to pick up these kills. The big question for me, though, is going to be who's going to be able to transition and scale harder when it comes down to it. Riven obviously scales extremely well, but Yasuo, once he hits that static Shiv Infinity Edge combination, it's absolutely preposterous the amount of damage he's able to do. And he's getting pretty close to it. This dragon is going to come back up right now. They're going to be able to take this one down. And he's only going to be about 1,000 gold away from completing the Infinity Edge after they grab this up. So this is going to be really tough for Super Team NA if LMQ are able to hit those big item checkpoints they need.
Oh, Chuper, he's going to get initiated upon. Really good solar flare from Batosai. He's actually going to flash off into the dragon, who will not finish him off, believe it or not. Really nice intercept there by Panzer Dragon. Looks like Leona will live to see another day. Arthalon goes in. Nope, never mind. Ackerman in the back picks up the Leona as Arthalon just really trying to go to town here on top of LMQ. Ackerman flashes over the wall, comes here onto the back of Jinte. Jinte will drop to the burst from No Name as Arthalon still trying to duel it out, but now he has to deal with a 5-on-1 scenario as Vi is just not going to be able to help him out in this situation. So that is going to be RIP Dragon. Arthalon, well, he's going to make a wild goose chase out of it, but yeah, there's no escape out of that.
Yeah, he's hoping to buy enough time for his team to respawn and get back out to protect the dragon, but I don't necessarily know that they're going to be able to, because Jinte is arguably the biggest source of damage they have right now, and he hasn't respawned just yet. Panzer Dragon wants this kill, has his ult, but isn't going to go for it.
No assault and battery quite yet from them. You also see the rest of LMQ. They circled back. They are doing that dragon at this point. Panzer Dragon's going to get in there. Does not get the steal. We had the culling go out as well, but that's just going to be the result of a dead Vi. Vasily in the back, just a little bit low, but I don't think Chuper really has what it takes to chase him down at this point. Batosai is back, but Vasily does recognize the danger and backs off. And again, gold leads are fluctuating back and forth, but right now we're sitting at a solid 5K for LMQ.
Alright, so you see Jinte, the one bright shining hope for Super Team NA thus far. Chuper has completed up the Trinity Force as well, so he's starting to get some good damage, but he really needs at least one more item before he's going to be a major threat. Right now, Jinte is pretty much all of the threat, and there are so many different answers for him. We mentioned beforehand exactly how much like AoE lockup they have in the form of knockups, which can't be reduced pretty much at all in any way. So if they're able to just start unleashing all those cooldowns in a sequence onto Jinte or onto Chuper, Super Team NA are not even going to be able to fight back. They're just going to end up losing the fights. They're going to end up losing their objectives, everything else. LMQ have yet to really kind of unleash that. We've yet to really see them make the big attempt. But now that more towers are going down, more people are roaming around the map, we might see some more fuller sized team fights and skirmishes and stuff like that. And that might be where LMQ's comp is really going to shine.
Before the last fight and before that dragon, Jinte had actually pulled ahead of Wei Zhao in terms of cash, but after a few more deaths and that global gold granting LMQ just that extra little bit, it is now every lane from LMQ is ahead in gold. 8,000 now the leader, and that's actually on Ackerman in the top. The difference is, you know, again, very, Ackerman takes down the top tower, just goes right by Arthalon, but, you know, Alright, Arthalon, fine. He's going to get some damage here, but I think he's going to be okay. There's absolutely no one else here from LMQ to help out, but just go back to the Lucian. You know, Lucian really, really poor in this matchup.
Yeah, this has been 2 games in a row that Trooper has just not had that much fun. And it's 2 games in a row where Vasily has had a lot of fun. Arguably in this game he might be having a little bit too much fun, but he's still getting his goal, he's still getting his items. He's already got the Bloodthirster and the Last Whisper down. So the amount of damage output he's capable of with just his right clicks and his ricochets and his boomerang blades and everything else is already just absolutely colossal. When you combine that up with the additional AoE coming out from the rest of his team, and it's really scary already here just at the 20-minute mark.
So Ackerman off to the side, the rest of the team is just kind of scattered to the wind, but LMQ has basically cleared out that top lane in entirety. Turret's actually sitting at 3-2, which is the closest we've had them, as Ackerman does get caught out here by Batosa. Again, nobody here to help out Ackerman quite yet. The closest is going to be Wukong off at his red, but Ackerman, I think, is going to find a grave here at the blue. Does get shot down by Vi. That was a 4-on-1, but geez, like, Superteam really, really wanted that kill.
Yeah, they did use 2 major ultimates for it. Now Gente is going to try to chase down Vasily.
Yeah, he's going to try. That was the on the hunt. That's going to be the spell shield on top of things, but that's the flash Gente and the wind slash. Not much you can do up against a Fed Riven like that. 8-3-2 will trump out your 2-4-5, and really nice pickup from Gente. Had to use the flash mid though. Pantsar Dragon, he's going to get hit here by the Wei Zhao ult. That's going to be the wild growth on top of it, as Arthlon getting extremely low on the hit points. Has to Dragon's Descent out of that danger zone, and looks like they might actually find Trooper off in that jungle.
Trooper might have gotten a little bit greedy trying to go with that Ardent Blaze to steal away the camp, as No Name, he's going to get the flash over the wall. That's embarrassing.
A little. I think still Trooper is going to pay for it though. I mean, that exhaust coming down does lock him up into a good spot. Batosai now going to be the punching bag here for LMQ. Nice knock-up, double kill for the Yasuo as Gente goes ham into the back. Triple kill is the result, however. Didn't really get too much done there, unfortunately, for Gente. This could actually be a possible ace as the rest of LMQ goes for the Quadra. Is that the Penta? The Penta is achieved. Yasuo going with the 5-0 sweep and the ace at the 22-minute mark.
So, I seem to remember saying something a couple minutes ago about Yasuo once he completes Infinity Edge and Static Shiv being a little bit monstrous.
Yeah, I vaguely remember that, yeah.
I remember that coming up, and then he picks up the pentakill largely because of his crit damage, and combined that with actually his passive was the only thing that kept him alive there. The flow procs were just absolutely huge. An amazing pentakill there, just really, really solid kiting, and honestly, the Yasuo is just dealing too much damage right now. If they do not keep enough CC lockdown available and then accurately and successfully use it on Wei Zhao, he will run through the entire team and pentakill them again. At this point, LMQ, they've hit the strong point in their comp. Earlier on, it looked like they were just kind of messing around because they were biding their time. They're waiting for that moment where Yasuo is ready to just go and wreck everyone, and he's hit it. It's it. Yasuo has arrived, and LMQ are going to start looking to play a lot more aggressively.
Trooper looking to do a little bit of aggression here on top of Ackerman, but I'm very curious how that will go. We've seen this before. Gente up against Vasily. That spell shield actually coming out and will stop out the stop from Gente. So hey, usually on the hunt, but actually lived out of this one. Gente does not get anything for it. No Name chasing him down, but more might be caught here. That's going to be the solar flare into the old Trooper. Going to get that kill. Wei Zhao, can you do a repeat performance? He's going to try his darndest, but now he's going to get shot down for Arthalon. Ackerman in the back does take down Trooper. Here comes No Name and Vasily as well. Batosai really low, forces out the flash as well as the Arthalon flash, but Ackerman just gets right up in their faces. Batosai running for his life. That's going to be the ward. He's going to be chasing him down. Arthalon still retreating. His dragon form is about to be up. And can Ackerman actually safeguard to that ward? No, I guess the cooldowns aren't there. I think that might have been the kill. Instead, it's going to go to No Name, and they still trade out really favorably in that team fight.
Alright, so Arthalon tried to be the big hero and actually flashed in to tank up the Sonic Wave that was going to kill Batosai. Like Batosai was gone, Ackerman was very patient. He waited, he walked until he was in range. He knew he was going to be able to get the guaranteed Q down just because of his positioning, and Batosai had already flashed as well, so he knew there was no escape from it. Arthalon ended up being the one to flash in there and just kind of tank that up for the team to try to get his support back out. He's going to end up falling down anyway, but they were able to drag them far enough across the map and burn enough time that LMQ are not going to be able to try to move in for the Baron and pick this one up as soon as they have Wei Zhao back with him. Gente, however, going to get polymorphed and jumped on.
Yeah, it just gets absolutely chunked down. He's going to try to get out of it with his broken wings at the end of it, and it does look like he will be successful. Panzer Dragon might end up paying the price, so he gets really low. Nice vault breaker, and he's still living. No Name ignoring him whatsoever, but kills and kills and kills. LMQ is cleaning up the super team as we speak. They're looking now to complete it for a Dragon. He's going to grab it, so unstoppable spree comes out of No Name, but it does look like Shyvana and a tower is able to return the kill on top of Ackerman. Still a 3-for-1 exchange by the end of it, but Jinte is back, and he's going to try, and he gets absolutely shut down for his efforts.
Yeah, it turns out you only need to have 1 hit point in order to actually deal your damage, and even though there's a very small number of hit points available for LMQ right now, every single one of them is able to turn around and deal all of their damage. Jinte, a little too aggressive going in for that one. LMQ showing a couple just like mechanical weaknesses. Honestly, they're like some of the engagements are not necessarily the very best. Wei Xiao actually missed a killing Q there. He had the knockup ready and would have been able to pick up a kill. He ended up not getting it, and Ackerman had to devote extra cooldowns to picking up the kill. It's not a huge thing. Like, they're still dominating this matchup at this point. But it's those little things like that that make you kind of wonder, like, okay, are they tired? What's going on? Why are they kind of making these little minor mistakes? And can Superteam NA punish them for it?
So far, no. 26-18
so far, no.
And what, 14,000 gold difference. They're trying this desperation Baron. When behind, grab the Baron, and it does look like it will successfully go their way. Ackerman, however, sets it up with the wild growth, and Wei Xiao just absolutely destroys the hit point bars, but he does not solidify a kill. It will be Ackerman taking at least 1 trooper. Looks like he's going to drop as well. The double comes for Ackerman as Wukong finally takes one home as well, and Arthalon is going to join them in the grave as well, and Vi is going to be making a best attempt at running for it. So hey, Baron secured and Wei Xiao dead. Panzer Dragon with the juke there actually at the end, so he's going to live a little bit longer, but an ace for the exchange, definitely not worth in my book, Malphus.
No, absolutely not. And that's just, and there's the ace finally coming out here. LMQ, I mean, they were a little bit late to getting to the Baron, and that was the best punishment Superteam NA had. As Ackerman allowed himself to get taken down by the Nexus Towers. He went a little bit too far into that one. But even then, LMQ were just, they're far enough ahead, they were able to respawn and get there just in time. And, you know, Yasuo, he may not have been able to pick up any kills with his ultimate, but he did take everyone down just low enough that as soon as the rest of LMQ were able to bring their firepower to bear, they just mopped everything up. They're going to get 1 Nexus Tower, they're going to back out, they're going to grab themselves an extra inhibitor right now, and just, wow, there's the Solar Flare going down.
Well, the Solar Flare is going to attempt grabbing a kill for this push, but Ackerman seems to be the likely target. Does not matter too much for Shyvana. Does get knocked back. Wind Slash not quite enough to get the Ackerman. Bad Tosai just turns around, knocks him back, and Jinte is going to be getting that one. Wei Xiao goes in 4-on-1. Answer our question, can you 4-on-1? The answer is still a resounding no, as No Name in the back goes legendary, trading out the Trooper. So, hey, kills secured, a few of them, but still the situation for Superteam as they're going to try to just chase down No Name is very, very bleak.
Yeah, this is, I mean, they're going to be able to take this one out. I don't think that it's going to end up being too much of a difference at this point. No Name wants to turn around, pick up this, he's not going to quite have the damage output on a Batosai. But even at this point, the Baron is off the map, 2 inhibitors are down, there's only 1 Nexus Tower up. LMQ have this game pretty well in hand. Vasily, he is indeed on the hunt.
Oh, that was a bad idea.
Yeah.
Doesn't really matter too much, I think, in the grand scheme of things. 32-23, 13,000 gold, and as you said, very little map control going the way of the super team. Arthalon is going to be all right, because that's Riven. And yeah, everything else, I mean, it's been a fantastic game just watching go back and forth. Jinte had a phenomenal, really, really good laning phase, and he got extremely, you know, itemed up. But in the end of all things, the Yasuo, man, let's see about Jinte though. More has to use out that wild growth. Jinte can't quite get that CC that he needs, but he did eat an exhaust for his troubles. So ult for exhaust, it's the small victories, Malphus.
Oh man, so yeah, Moore was able to keep himself alive in that one. Jinte the last Broken Wings didn't go exactly where he wanted it to. I think Moore dropped line of sight, and so his cursor ended up being the target rather than I'm actually not sure how that ended up working out. It might just be because he got stuck into the wall and that was the only position he had to move. I honestly don't know. But as it is, you see the damage output Gente is capable of, but this is why Lulu is such a great pick against a champion like Riven, who needs to get in and consistently use a lot of cooldowns to really get the damage off and to stay survivable as well. You just go in like that, you immediately get polymorphed, and if there are other people around, rather than just being alone in the jungle, you don't just like bounce around like an adorable little critter, they actually turn on you and kill you. So despite the fact that Gente had such a great early game and did get so far out ahead, they always have more there available to pop the polymorph on him and just shut that Riven's damage output down completely.
It's all about the counter initiation. Like, not only can you use the wild growth, as we've seen very effectively here for Wei Zhao, but yeah, it will interrupt that DPS flow of your opponent's combos. I mean, that's why Zyra was so big when she came out, because she has such a big area range. In order to do that fun stuff, look at Wei Zhao just going to work on top of the super team. Pantar Dragon coming back in here. The camera having a hard time figuring out who to actually focus, but Arthalon dropping, Vi going to be dropping as well. That's going to be the flash forward. Ackerman looking to kill on top of Bass. Tosai doesn't quite get it. No Name taking a few tower shots, but Gente is going to be joining the grave party as well as, believe it or not, No Name. Chuper was able to take home that kill. Ackerman just turns right back around, says Batosai sounds a little bit better. Vasily, not quite enough with that spell shield to stay alive, but a 4 for 3 exchange, and that is very likely game.
I like that LMQ actually pulled away from Chuper and allowed Moore to be the guy that to go in for that kill. Moore wasn't able to pick it up, but Wei Zhao's diving down, trying to pick this kill up with his ultimate. Not quite going to have the damage output for that one. Can Ackerman pick it up? Yes, he can, right before the Nexus falls.
This isn't even my final form, and double explosions. Cool, awesome. 37-27 final score as LMQ sweeps it 2-0 to be our first grand finalist tomorrow.